Welcome to today's video, home upgrades you'll regret versus upgrades you love. Okay, let's start with upgrades that you might regret. Never ever install an above ground pool. I don't know what the allure of having an above ground pool is. I get having your own backyard oasis, but above ground pools is often a source of significant regret for homeowners. They may seem like a cost-effective alternative to in-ground pools, but they come with a host of problems that will diminish your property's value. Above ground pools are generally less durable and will become an eyesore over time. Have you ever heard of anyone say, "Wow, cool, you have an above ground pool. I've always wanted one." At least I haven't. They aren't aesthetically pleasing. They do not add value. In fact, in all of my years in real estate, I have never seen a property with an above ground pool that looks attractive to potential buyers. All they can think of is how do they remove this thing and how much will it cost? Speaking of removing an above ground pool, in our neighborhood, there was one neighbor that got rid of their above ground pool. The first thing they did was drain the pool. They drained their pool in their backyard, which was on a slope. Guess what happened? All that water severely eroded the land behind their house, and ultimately their house was deemed unsafe to live in. Not only that, the neighbors left and right of them also got affected. I think it cost like $300,000 to $500,000 to remedy the whole thing. Bottom line, don't get an above ground pool. Even in-ground pools can be a source of homeowners' remorse. While they offer fun and relaxation during warmer months, pools require constant maintenance, increases your homeowner's insurance, and can be a safety concern, especially for families with young children. The novelty often wears off. Children grow up, interests change, and that expensive pool may become more of a burden than a benefit. From a resale perspective, not all buyers want a pool due to the upkeep and cost, which could narrow your market when it comes time to sell. It's a significant investment that might not provide a return equivalent to its cost. Next up, those huge, elaborate playground set. They might seem like a great idea for keeping the kids entertained, but these structures are expensive and often become obsolete as children grow older or prefer to play elsewhere. Eventually, you're left with a bulky eyesore taking up valuable yard space. Future buyers without young children might see it as something they'll need to remove. I have sold 3 properties over the years that have these expensive playsets, and in each of those instances, the buyers had asked to remove the playsets as a condition of sale. The thing is, my sellers felt bad doing so because of the time and expense it took them to put those things together. You're literally left with destroying it or throwing it in this recycling bin. Next up, I have to tell you personally, I went against this. The idea of a backyard kitchen with built-in grills, barbecue, appliances like fridge and a dishwasher. We had one before and it sounds luxurious. And it was for probably 2 to 3 years. We eventually kind of got tired of using it, and then because it was exposed to the elements like rain and sun, everything wears down faster. It got rusted, cobwebs all over the place, critters chewing on electrical cords, finding dead rats behind the appliances, finding other small animals living in the nooks and crannies. It wasn't worth it. Okay, before moving into the inside of the property, I want to briefly touch upon the front of the house. Don't put humongous water features or planters that would be hard to move. Just like the playground in the backyard, when it comes time to sell, that big water feature that is hard to remove will be a deterrent to buyers. I had this house that I sold years ago that had exactly what I'm talking about. The water fountain was twice my size, and they had several other decorative stuff that were huge. Now, they weren't ugly, but the next owners didn't like them. Okay, let's move on to the inside of the house. By the way, if you will be doing any remodel, make sure you get a permit. If you don't, it could be an issue when you sell, or better yet, it could even be a liability if something were to happen. First up, let's talk about converting your garage into a living space. Now, this might seem like a clever way to add extra space or extra square footage without building an entirely new addition, right? In fact, I even thought about this once. Perhaps you're envisioning, a new family room, a home gym, or an additional bedroom. However, many homeowners end up regretting this decision. Here's why. During showing houses or touring houses, the garage is the one that gets the least attention. However, I've learned from my years in real estate, garages are highly valued by buyers. By converting your garage, you're eliminating a key feature that many people look for in a home, which is kind of ironic if you ask me. I see a lot of homeowners not using their garage to park cars. Moreover, garage conversions can sometimes feel disconnected from the rest of the house. Unless done thoughtfully, the new space may not flow well with existing floor plans. I've seen instances where the converted garage still looks and feels like, well, a garage. Hey, next up, removing walls or combining rooms. I have these clients that bought a 3-bedroom house with 2 bathrooms. The wife wanted to combine their primary bedroom along with the bedroom next to it to make a bigger primary room. I get it. I understand the appeal. Who wouldn't want a bigger room, a bigger master bathroom or primary bathroom? Maybe a walk-in closet, right? But here's the thing. Removing a bedroom will have serious repercussions on your home's value. The number of bedrooms is a significant factor in determining a home's market value. By converting or combining a bedroom, you're effectively reducing the bedroom count, which can make your home less attractive to families or buyers who need that extra space. Even if the conversion can be reversed, all potential buyers see is that this is an added hassle and expense. What my client ended up doing was just using the next bedroom as a wardrobe room. They bought some IKEA cabinets, and with a little bit of customization, it looked like a luxurious, huge walk-in closet. The key here that I want to point out is that there's nothing in that room that can't be easily undone with a screwdriver or a hammer. A little touch-up paint, and it's a room again. And you know what? It paid off. Because 2 years ago, we sold their house, and guess what? Most buyers were asking, how hard was it to remove those built-ins? We showed them how quickly you can do it, and the buyers were thrilled. Just like my example earlier of not putting an above-ground pool ever in your backyard, this is also a major no-no. Don't ever make changes that will lessen your room count that you cannot convert quickly and cheaply. Another indoor upgrade that can lead to regret is installing a freestanding bathtub. These tubs look stunning in design magazines and can add a touch of luxury to your bathroom. However, they might not be the most practical choice. Freestanding tubs often require more space than built-in options and can make the bathroom feel cramped if the area isn't large enough. They can also be less comfortable for daily use, especially for families with young children or elderly members who might have difficulty getting in and out safely. Cleaning around and behind the tub can also be challenging. If you're considering a bathroom upgrade, think about options that combine style with practicality, such as modern built-in tub or an upgraded shower system with accessibility features. Now let's talk about investing in major high-end appliances. It's easy to get swept up in the excitement of outfitting your kitchen with the latest and greatest gadgets, smart fridges, professional-grade stoves, and so on. However, these expensive appliances might not provide the return on investment you're hoping for, unless, of course, your home is a luxury home. High-end appliances are costly to purchase and maintain. They may also require specialized repairs, adding to the long-term expense. Furthermore, not all buyers will share your taste or appreciate the added cost when you decide to sell. In many cases, mid-range appliances offer all the functionality you need at the fraction of the price. Consider focusing on reliable, energy-efficient appliances that meet your needs without unnecessary bells and whistles. This approach is budget-friendly and still appeals to future buyers. Lastly, let's talk about open shelving trend in kitchens. While open shelves can create an airy feel and showcase your beautiful dishes, they come with downsides. Open shelving reduces storage spaces and require constant upkeep to keep items looking organized and dust-free. Most homeowners have a variety of kitchen items, some that are display-worthy and others that are better kept behind closed doors. Traditional cabinets offer the flexibility to store everything neatly out of sight. If you love the look of open shelving, consider incorporating it in moderation, perhaps in a small section of your kitchen, while keeping the rest functional with closed cabinetry. And again, in my experience, most buyers might find it attractive when we are touring homes, but the question eventually comes back to how much will it cost to install cabinets? Now that we've covered some upgrades you might regret, let's shift our focus to smart, budget-friendly improvements that can transform your space without the hefty price tag or remorse. First on my list, refreshing your interior doors with paint. Doors are often overlooked, but they occupy significant visual space in your home. Painting them in a warm, neutral, or bold color can dramatically change the feel of your space. Don't forget about painting the door frames to match or complement the doors can create a cohesive and stylish look. This simple upgrade is cost-effective and can be done before you move in to avoid any inconvenience. Updating your door hardware is another impactful change. Swapping out old doorknobs and hinges for modern or vintage-inspired pieces can refresh your home's aesthetic. Whether you choose sleek, matte black hardware for contemporary feel or antique brass for a touch of character, new hardware can make a big difference. Plus, it's relatively easy DIY project that won't break the bank. Okay, staying with doors. If the house you bought has those old plain-looking doors from the 50s, if you have the budget to replace them with newer ones, that would go a long way. When you are replacing them, replace the trims as well. But here's the catch. Make sure you replace all doors. Having mismatched doors, they don't look good at all. This next upgrade is easy and you can do it to your heart's content because you are moving into the house. Paint is another easy upgrade. Using paint strategically to add character is another way to transform your home. If you're hesitant to commit painting the entire room, consider accent areas. Painting your ceiling a contrasting color to make a room feel more intimate or to highlight architectural features, those are great ideas. You can add color to archways or alcoves to create a focal point. Narrow hallways or small spaces, use deep saturated colors to add depth and interest. These small doses of color can infuse personality into your home without overwhelming the space or affecting its resale value. And when it's time to sell, just repaint it. By the way, I have a video about choosing the right paint when you are about to sell your house. I'll link it in the description below or somewhere around here. Speaking of link in the description below, let me know what weird types of upgrades or customization you have seen in houses. I'll give you one of my best, or maybe I should say one of the weirdest that I've seen. And it is a hot tub or a jacuzzi in the middle of the bedroom. That was completely insane. I've never seen something like that before. I've never been into the Playboy Mansion, but that's how I imagined it. Speaking of jacuzzi, by the way, that's another one that you should forego. If you really want a jacuzzi, just get one of those tubs with jets for your bathroom. Installing DIY shelving in the garage is another budget-friendly way to add function and style. One thing that has surprised me are those ceiling garage storage systems. I have heard so much good feedback from buyers about them. So that's something that you can do yourself and for not a lot of money. Those are just some of the do's and don'ts that I have found have worked through the years for my clients and for me personally. Hey look, upgrading your home doesn't have to involve massive renovations or extravagant expenses. By focusing on thoughtful, functional improvements and avoiding over customization, you can create a space that feels both new and authentically yours, hopefully without regret. Remember, the goal is to enhance your living experience while maintaining or even increasing your property's value. Balancing aesthetics with practicality and considering the long-term impact of your choices will help you make smart renovations that you and future homeowners will appreciate for years to come. Hey, thanks for joining me today on home upgrades you'll regret versus home upgrades you'll love. If you found these suggestions helpful, be sure to check out my other videos. And if you need an agent referral, let me know and I can get you in touch with a local knowledgeable agent. Thanks for watching.